All right, Chapter 2, Government class. We're going to talk about the origins of American government. Now, where did the first American settlers get their ideas about government from? Well, the first settlers were colonists from which country? England. So a lot of the kind of initial ideas for government come from England. So some of the main influential things that affected the U.S. government started with the Magna Carta in 1215, which is a major piece of government history. Magna Carta, you hear it talked about a lot, because this is the first time in history where trial by jury, due process, and protection against seizure of property were actually put into writing for a government. Before this, like kings and lords would just decide if you were guilty or not guilty, or that you didn't have any due process, you didn't have a jury. People didn't really hear the facts, they would just kind of decide. You have the Petition of Rights, which means that the king couldn't imprison political critics just for like any old reason they wanted. And then you had the English Bill of Rights, which gave Parliament, which is like England's Congress, more power. Now, when a country has colonies, like Britain had colonies in America, they give the colonies the ability to govern themselves. And so the first attempt at an independent government in the colonies was called the Mayflower Compact. Now, if you remember, the Puritans came over on the Mayflower, and so that's why it was called the Mayflower Compact. Compact is just another way, it's like a fancy way to say contract. Now we're going to talk about a few different things that people believe that should be qualities of the government. And so in shaping the United States, people believe that we should have an ordered government. Okay? By ordered, they mean that early colonists created a local government out of the need for like an orderly, regulated system of interacting with one another. So you have a sheriff, a mayor, a coroner, everybody has a job that's kind of spelled out really easily. Another quality of government is that it's limited, which means that each individual has certain rights that the government can't take away. So the government can't just take away your freedom for no reason, throw you in jail. There has to be a due process. There's a system in place. So the government has limited power. It can't just do whatever it wants. There's certain rules for the government. Another quality of government is for it to be representative. It means that the government is run by people who represent people who live in the country. So the government doesn't exist for the government's own power. The government exists to represent the people that live in the country. So why do we have a revolution? Well, the United States were colonies. The colonies rebelled against the motherland, the English government, because the English government were taxing people without representation. So famous saying was that no taxation without representation. So things like the Stamp Act, the Tea Act, etc., placed a lot of pressure on people to rebel, because they felt like their money was being taken away for no reason, and they had no way of changing it other than violent revolution. They also were against restrictive trade acts. Mercantilism is an economic system. It's kind of like capitalism, but it's not. It's like everybody can do business except you can only do business with England. You can't, well, if China pays more for a certain good, you can't go there. In a capitalist society, you can sell to whoever wants to pay you the most. The Quartering Act was another huge one. It's in the Declaration of Independence. Here, the colonists were forced to lodge or allow British troops to sleep in their home, and they would have to feed them and things like that. All this led to the Declaration of Independence. And the Declaration It was signed July 4th, 1776, which is Independence Day. Okay, it's not July 4th, it's Independence Day, is the actual holiday. The Declaration was written by Thomas Jefferson, and in it states the reasons. It's like a list of grievances against the King of England, and then it says these are all the reasons that we're breaking away from England. And so it's like a breakup letter with England. And the colony is saying, hey, we're going to go off, be our own country now. So the King of England at this time is King George III. Signing the Declaration of Independence. Following that, every state ended up writing their own constitution. We'll talk about that in the next film, or in the next video.